Welcome to Pound for Pound, the MMA podcast. And now, coming to the mic, your host, Jalen Walker.
Welcome to Pound for Pound, the MMA podcast. I'm your host, Jalen Walker. If you're listening to the podcast via Spotify, Apple Music, or any other streaming platform, please also check us out on YouTube and hit that subscribe button. Much appreciated. Man, what a time to be an MMA fan. This past month has been absolutely insane. UFC 261, UFC Vegas 25, Bellator 258, and even PFL last night. All these events have had great fights, great matchups, and it only continues to get better from here throughout the year. We'll break down some fights from these past events and discuss upcoming fights in the near future. But tonight, UFC Vegas 26 is live on ESPN with Donald Cowboy Cerrone versus Alex Morono as the co-main event. And then we got Marina Rodriguez versus the incredible Michelle Waterson as the headline main event. And that's all free on ESPN tonight. We'll break it all down and much, much more. But first, we have a special message from our sponsors at Manscape.
Okay, all systems work. We're ready for countdown.
5. Yes, the Lawnmower 4.0 is officially released. We have one here with us today. We'll go ahead and unbox this, but first let me get this ad read before I show you guys this wonderful product from Manscape. This is a pubic service announcement and news you've all been waiting for. The Manscaped engineering team has confirmed that they have successfully created the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, which is now available for purchase in the US and Canada. The new trimmer was just released only moments ago, about maybe like yesterday, early today, and we are one of the first to get our hands on it and to share the news. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off plus free shipping worldwide with code POUNDFORPOUND at manscaped.com. Like I said, I'm one of the first to try the new 4.0, and I'm blown away by the performance. The craftsmanship and details on the 4.0 are literally next level. Their advanced ceramic blade and skin-safe technology is so good that it almost seems as if Manscaped worked with Elon Musk engineers to ensure your testes are safe as possible. So what makes this trimmer different than all other trimmers? A new multifunctional tool for on and off switch can engage a travel lock created for the people who like to travel. The Lawnmower 4.0 gives you the ability to turn the 400K LED spotlight on and off when needed for a more precise shave. The new trimmer even allows you to customize your trim all over through additional guard links with sizes 1 through 4. And looks-wise, it's sleek with a two-tone matte and gloss finish. Even features a hot foil stamped black chrome Manscaped logo. Show that mower off loud and proud. The optimized Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer is waterproof so you can groom in the shower and not have to worry about making a mess on the bathroom floor. Did I mention wireless charging? The Lawnmower 4.0's new wireless charging system uses electromagnetic induction, which can help battery length last longer. If you're still trimming your face with your ball trimmer, it's time to make some changes. Get 20% off plus free shipping with code pound for pound at manscape.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with code pound for pound at manscape.com. No person wants to end up with pubes in their mouth, and your balls will thank you. All right, guys, I'll show this to you real quick. This is what it looks like when you first get it. Like, holy crap. Basically, it's a whole new ball game. Let me put this up to the camera. Right? And then it comes out. Let's go ahead and pull this out real quick. It is sleek. When I tell you guys, it feels so much more, I can't explain it. Just the weight of it, the look of it, it just looks and feels more professional. And man, it really does work. The new functions with the light and the travel lock are wonderful additions to the lawnmower, and it really takes it to that next level. Also, you get this new grooming kit that they have included, and basically it just shows you how to use it on the charger, how you should properly use the Manscape 4.0. And then in here we got basically just another guide of how to clean it, how to take care of it, how to install it. Just the whole presentation is top notch now. All right, here, let's go ahead and show you the wireless charger also while we got it out, if I can get it out of the box. So basically you plug this thing in, which is super sleek actually, by the way. It has the Manscaped logo also on the wireless charger. And then basically you just have it plugged in and it just drops in. And it's supposed to help with battery life, battery performance, and it's just pretty damn cool, to be honest with you. Not having to plug it in, just knowing it just literally sits there, it's just flawless. And as they said, the new guards, they got new lengths for fellas out there that want to trim to their desired length, as I'll say. But you got the 4 guard and you got the 1 guard here. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And then you get the plug and all that. But man, it is a serious product. I was really blown away when I first opened it and saw it in its full form. We heard rumors about it and stuff like that. But man, it is really nice grooming tool. And I think pretty much every man out there would benefit from having one. So if you're interested in the Lawnmower 4.0 from Manscaped, use code pound for 20% off plus free shipping. That's code pound for 20% off plus free shipping. And I would like to give a special shout out, of course, to Manscaped. Thank you so much. Your products are wonderful, and thanks for supporting Pound for Pound. Much appreciated. All right, guys. Enough with those exciting news. I've been holding that in. I've known for a little bit. I'm glad that the world knows and people are able to go snag one of these now. We're probably going to be giving away one next week also. So just stay tuned for that on social media and stuff like that, and we'll get those instructions to you guys on how to win one. But man, on to these fights. Holy shit. That's all I can say. These past 2 weeks, month, whatever you want, have been outstanding. All right, let's just start. Last night, I had an interview with Jeff Molina. We talked about UFC 261. So if you kind of want to hear my recap on that, go ahead and check that out. It's episode 39. And also just great hearing from Jeff Molina. He had fight of the night with the $50K bonus. And that was at UFC 261. But it was an honor to talk to him again. Wonderful guy. Couldn't be more happy for him. But yeah, check that episode out and hear my review for UFC 261. But man, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm not the biggest Bellator fan. Some of the times how they run their business and how they run these fights, it doesn't really work for my comfort, if that makes sense. But man, that card they had last night at Bellator 258, hats off to those guys, man. That was absolutely amazing. We had Michael Venom Page literally break Derek Anderson's nose with a kick, and I caved it in. Like, his whole middle of his part of his nose was in his face. Absolutely amazing. Doctor stoppage for that victory. And then we had former UFC flyweight contender Sergio Pettis, who, yes, is the brother of Anthony Pettis. He outstriked Juan Archuleta to win the Bellator bantamweight title. So hats off and congrats to Sergio Pettis. Wonderful fighter. The Pettis brothers, they're up there with the Diaz brothers. They're some of the best fighters in the game. And I'm very, very happy for him. And man, the reason I watched last night, Anthony Johnson, he returned after a 4-year hiatus after joining the Bellator and won with a TKO Bellator knockout against Jose Augusto. Man, hats off to the boy Anthony Johnson. Man, we haven't seen him fighting for so long, and he was actually stunned and knocked for the first time in his career last night. In his interview last night, he didn't even realize it, and they showed him the footage. He was like, man, crap, I didn't even know that. So congrats to him. Johnson now advances to the semifinals of the Bellator Lightweight Grand Prix, where he will face reigning 205-pound champion Vadim Nemkov. But yeah, that last night was insane. Those are like the 3 main fights. We also had Peter Quelly defeated Patricky Ferrari via TKO from a cut stoppage. The cut literally was gushing. There was no way he could continue. It was on the side of his face. It wasn't really covering up his vision, but there was nothing they could really do to stop the bleeding. They gave him the full in-between rounds for the cut man to do it, but there was nothing they could apply to it. They were using whole pads of gauze. Really unfortunate, but they just can't allow injuries like that to persist and keep the fights going. But yeah, like I said, hats off to Bellator. That was a good one. That was one that they can rival the UFC with that level of talent. Also, before I get into the fight card tonight, I want to talk about these upcoming fights, these upcoming super cards, as I'll say it, man. May 15th, we got UFC 262. It's already here, guys. We just had UFC 261. UFC 262 is here next week, May 15th, with the headliner Charles Oliveira against Michael Chandler. As we know, Michael Chandler came from Bellator. He wanted to prove himself as one of the best, and he wanted to do it in the UFC, and he came out and destroyed Dan Hooker not too long ago. Charles Oliveira came out and destroyed Tony Ferguson not too long ago. And coincidence enough, Tony Ferguson is the co-main event against Benel Darusha for that. And then we got Jack Hermanson on that card, Shane Burgos. Edson Barboza makes his return to the UFC after a little bit of time away. Stat card, UFC 262, May 15th. Also, May 22nd, UFC Vegas 27, we got Cody Garbrandt. He hasn't been in the octagon since that wonderful, impressive knockout. I can't remember who was over, but it was beautiful. He's going to be taking on Rob Font and the bantamweight division. And then we got Yan Ziona versus Carlo Esparza. And then we got Justin Tafa, Jared Vendera, who's been on the show before from Contender Series. That's UFC Vegas 27, and that is May 22nd. And then later on in June, on June 12th, yeah, UFC 263, you guessed it, Israel, the Last Style Adesanya versus Marvin Vettori. Now, there's a little controversy around this fight. Everyone wanted Robert Whittaker to fight Adesanya. Dana White did, but they wanted to do it on this date, and that just wasn't fair to Robert Whittaker, seeing that he has to be 2 weeks quarantine in both Australia and in the United States, going here and back, so 3 times quarantine altogether for a total of over a month. So that would have gave him only a week to really be with his family, and he would have been training, in quarantine. So it was a lot for him. We all understand. It sucks that we won't see that rematch between Adesanya and Whittaker, but we all know Adesanya will most likely take out Marvin Vettori, and it's going to be lights out for him, and then we'll probably see Whittaker versus Adesanya next. But on that card also, we got the rematch from Davison Figueiredo against Brandon Moreno. Their original fight is one of my favorite fights of all time. It was Fight of the Year last year. Holy crap. Just can't believe that's actually happening again. And then before that fight, hold on, Leon Edwards versus the one, the only, Nate Diaz. Yes, that is UFC 263, June 12th. Heavy hitters. Man, we got so much to look forward to for MMA, UFC, Bellator, everything. Very, very excited. But present day, UFC Vegas 26. First on the card tonight, we have Amanda Rebus versus Angela Hill at the women's strawweight. Rebus is 10-2, coming off a second-round TKO loss to Marina Rodriguez back in January of this year. This loss put a stop in her previous 5-fight winning streak that dated back to 2016. She has a balanced winning record with 3 wins by knockout, 4 by submission, and 3 by decision. She also has 5 first-round finishes with all 4 of her submissions and 1 by knockout. Her key wins come from Paige Van Dant, Rhonda Marcos, Emily Whitmire. You know, she is one of a kind. She's 10-2 for a reason. But Angela Overkill, who's 13-9, is not here to mess around. Hill was able to turn things around with a recent victory after previously losing 2 straight bouts. This last performance was a unanimous decision against Ashley Yoder back in January of this year. You know, she has 5 wins by knockout, 8 by decision, and so far she has only 1 first-round knockout finish. But yeah, she's lost to the likes of Rose, Michelle Waterson. So Angela Hill, her losses aren't coming from no names. She is up against some of the best talent in the sport, and I think this will be an interesting bout other than people saying Amanda Rebus is going to dominate. I don't see it. I think this is going to be back and forth, and it could possibly go all 3 rounds to the judges. All right, next on the card, Carlos Diego versus Gregor Gillespie at the lightweight division. Carlos Diego is 17-3. He's coming off a split decision loss to Benel Darush back in February of this year. This loss stopped him from having his previous 6-fight winning streak. He was going for 7, and it was a second loss for Darush. He has 3 wins by knockout, 7 by submission, and 7 by decision. He also has 4 first-round finishes, with 3 of them coming by submission and 1 by knockout. But hold on, man. Cody Statman, a.k.a. The Gift, 13-1. He's coming off a first-round knockout head kick to Kevin Lee back in November. Yeah, man, it's interesting to see Cody coming in here, fighting Carlos. 13-1 record, 17-3 record. They're fairly even when it comes to their records, but both fighters are coming off tough losses. They have to find out how to get motivated. Gillespie especially was not happy with how he went down. But yeah, we're going to see. But in hindsight, I'm going to have to take Carlos Diego. And I don't know how he's going to win. I don't want to say decision TKO because I honestly don't know. But I'm going to have to go with my man Carlos Diego. It's going to be a really interesting fight, though. Really, really interesting fight. All right, so now we got Maurice Green versus Marcos Rogerio de Lima at the heavyweight division. Maurice Green, a.k.a. the Crochet Boss. Green is coming off a second-round TKO loss to Greg Hardy back in October of last year. It's puts him back in the losing column after winning his previous bout before that. He has 2 wins by knockout, 5 by submission, and 2 by decision. And he has 6-round finishes with 3 by knockout and 3 by decision. Not too bad, not too bad. His opponent, Marcos Rogerio de Lima, a.k.a. Pazeo. We're going to stick with Pazeo for now. He's 17-8-3. Pazeo is coming off a first-round submission loss to Alexander Romanov back in November of 2020, not too long ago. This stopped his previous attempt at making another winning streak since he took care of Ben Solosi by knockout in the previous victory. 12 wins by knockout, 3 by submission, and 2 by decision. And he also has 13 first-round finishes with 10 by knockout and the other 3 by submission. You know, Brazil's Pazeo, like I said, he's 17-8-1. He spent 6 fights at the UFC light heavyweight before 2 consecutive weight misses sent him back to heavyweight. So he's here. He's comfortable here. This is more of his natural weight. I think he's a deadly machine, man. Marcos is nothing to play with. I think this matchup is good for him, and I think it favors him. Some people would disagree with me, but I got to stick with it. I think Marcos is going to win this fight via TKO pretty early on, if not the first, going into the second round in the first couple of minutes. But exciting fight at heavyweight. Heavyweight's always so interesting. You can never really miss with heavyweight. And on to one of the fights I'm looking forward to most. Neil Magny versus Geoff Neal at the welterweight division. Neil Magny, a.k.a. the Haitian sensation, 24-9, Magny is returning to action after a unanimous decision loss to Michael Chiesa back in January of this year. His recent loss snapped the previous 3-fight winning streak that he developed all in 2020. He has 7 wins by knockout, 3 by submission, and 14 by decision. And so far in his career, he's only put up 1 first-round knockout finish. Neil Magny has wins against Kevin Gastelum, Robbie Lawler, Rocco Martin, Carlos Condit. Like, the list goes on and on. The kid's got a hit list, and you know what I mean? But he has also lost to people like Damian Maia, Rafael Dos Anjos, Lorenzo Larkins. So he has lost to people that fight similar to Geoff Neal, but we'll see. His opponent, like I said, Geoff Neal, a.k.a. the Hands of Steel, he's 13-3. He's coming off a unanimous decision loss of his own to Stephen Wonderboy Thompson back in December of 2020, which was an amazing fight. That loss snapped his previous 7-fight winning streak that dated back all the way to the middle of July. He has 8 wins by knockout, 2 by submission, and 3 by decision. He also has 6 first-round finishes with 4 by knockout and 2 by decision. Man, he's beat Bello Muhammad, Nico Price, Frank Camacho, Mike Perry, to name a few. He's a sniper. He's a southpaw. He's a classic double threat with the left hand and the left kick. Perhaps one of the best in the division when it comes to that. So look for lots of combinations, lots of kicks, and a fast-paced fight. And just because of those alone, I think Geoff Neal is going to win this fight via decision just from the amount of volume he's going to throw at Magny. And I think Magny is going to be able to hit him a few times, but he's not going to have nearly enough volume as Neal at the end of the fight. And I think that's how Neal's going to win in the judges' eyes via probably unanimous decision. All right, on to one of my favorite fighters of all time. You guys know the love I have for Donald Cowboy Cerrone. I'm always going to pick him. I'm sorry. I think I even picked him against Conor McGregor. I just love Cerrone, guys. Like, he's going up against Alex Morono in the welterweight division. Donald Cerrone, 35, 15, 2-0 contests. He has the most wins in UFC history, also the most fights in UFC history. The man's a legend. There's no doubt in our mind he will be in the Hall of Fame one day. There's not a lot you can say about Cerrone that hasn't been said already, but I do have to say this. If he loses this fight tonight, it will be the last time we will most likely see Donald Cowboy Cerrone in the octagon, and it really hurts. I hope he gets this win. He's 38 years old. He could fight for a few more years, but if he loses this, that'll be 5 in a row, or 4 or 5 in a row loss. He's been fighting some heavy hitters recently, but yeah, this last year has been a horrible stretch for him. He's gone to winless 0-4-1 with 3 bad technical knockout stoppages. Like I said, this fight is considered do or die for Cowboy, and I hope he wins. I hope he wins, and if he doesn't, I hope Dana and Sean Shelby keep him in the UFC because he's a legend, man. People tune in to watch him, but just for the fact that if he loses tonight, it's probably over for him, I'm definitely going to be paying close attention to this fight. And I suggest if you're an MMA fan too, you should be watching this co-main event because it could be the last time we see one of the best fighters of all time, Donald Cerrone, in the octagon. It's a little sad. I didn't really mean to take it there, but I just wanted to shed some reality to you guys that, man, yeah, if he loses tonight, it most likely is going to be released from the UFC. His opponent, he ain't no slug either, man. Alex Morono, the Great White, 18-7 with 1-0 contest. He signed with the UFC back in 2016, and since joining the UFC, Morono has put on several memorable performances. He held 7-4 UFC record after winning 4 of his last 6. Morono has remained under the radar as he continues to develop into a potential contender. The 30-year-old has recently looked like he has been putting it all together between his dominant grappling and his sneaky power on the feet. He's really, really going to give Cerrone a run for his money. It's going to be some interesting wrestling, some interesting strikes, but if all holds and all else fails with Donald Cerrone, I hope he can still get the dub and lock this victory up because I would love to see him stay in the UFC a little bit longer. Donald Cowboy Cerrone is one of the first fighters I really started watching. And yeah, I cannot say enough about the guy. Shouts out to Donald Cowboy Cerrone. I would love to hopefully get to interview him one day. One of the most laid-back guys I've heard. But yeah, this fight's interesting. Like I said, I'll never pick against Cowboy Cerrone, so I'm going Cowboy Cerrone wins, decision, knockout, something, submission. But the Cowboy is going to get it taken care of, hopefully. And if not, thank you for everything. Thank you for the run. But before we get too far into that, let's let the fight happen. But yeah, Cowboy Cerrone, we're going to take him with the dub against Alex Morono. And finally, the main event of the night. It's a sleeper, man. It really is a sleeper main event. I think people are going to be surprised with this fight. Marina Rodriguez, a.k.a. the Karate Hottie, 13-1-2. She's coming off a split decision victory against Angela Hill back in September of 2020. This was a much-needed victory after dropping 2 straight fights. She has 3 wins by knockout, 9 by submission, and 6 by decision. She also has 6 first-round submission victories on her resume. Rodriguez, she's coming off that technical knockout against Amanda Rebus at UFC 257 pay-per-view back in January. The 34-year-old Brazilian blasted her way into the octagon with a first-round finish over Maria de Oliveira Neta on Dana White's Contender Series back in the summer of 2018. Like her opponent, one of the best women in the game, Michelle Waterson, 18-8. Rodriguez is returning to action after a second-round TKO victory against Amanda Rebus back in January of this year. It's funny, Michelle Waterson beat Amanda Rebus, and Rebus just beat Marina Rodriguez. But yeah, Rebus, she defeated Amanda Rebus back in January of this year. The win got her back on track after a draw and a loss out of her last 2 fights. She has 6 wins by knockout, 1 by submission, and 6 by decision. She also has been able to put forth 4 first-round knockout finishes. Waterson, like I said, is 18-8. She is also looking to win her 2nd straight after capturing a split decision victory over the rough and tough Angela Hill last September. I'm excited. I'm excited for this fight. I'm really excited. Both fighters have had some fluctuations in the past, but they both have had their bad losses and had their good wins. And we're going to see what happens when they both meet. It's one of those fights where we really don't know what's going to happen. But I got to take Waterson wins via decision because Michelle Waterson has been so impressive recently, and I've loved what she's been doing. But yeah, it's going to be a stacked card. We got 6 cards on the main event, and it's free on ESPN, guys. Like, there's no reason not to watch. Like, come on. If you got cable or whatever, just turn it on, check it out, keep it in the background if you got to. It's going to be an exciting fight. It's a low-key UFC event, but there's some heavy hitters going to be happening tonight, and I think we're possibly going to be seeing some insane fights and finishes tonight. It's a sleeper card, sleeper main event, but like I said, man, you better hold on if you're watching tonight. It's going to be nuts. But yeah, shout out to Manscape again. Guys, I'm telling you, go order yourself a Lawnmower 4.0 and use code pound for pound. I'm not just saying it. I know they support our podcast, but this thing is awesome. The feel of it, the design of it, the functionality of it. Please check it out and use code pound for pound for that 20% off discount plus free shipping. For my viewers outside of the U.S. and Canada, I was told they will be releasing here in other countries here soon. I don't want to give an exact day or month or time period. Just keep checking out. We'll update you guys here as always. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Lawnmower 4.0, UFC Vegas 26 tonight. And I'm your host, Jalen Walker, and this is Pound for Pound, the MMA podcast. Peace, guys.
With these sides give me peace on earth. With these lies keep me from hurt. Look what I don't put my knees in dirt. Before I sleep, it's a reefer. First, yeah.